Well, Apple's done it, guys. They've done the impossible. We've got a Mac Mini update now, and we've got a lot of good stuff with it, and we've also got a pretty high price hike with it. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of brief you guys on the information we got from the keynote. So we now have two options of the Mac Mini. Gone is the silver color, so you can only get it in space gray. And now you've got two models with, of course, your various options of configuration. So you've got a 799 and a 1099. And so your immediate thought is to go to the 799 because it's the cheapest, and the Mac Mini's been about being the cheapest, but I think not anymore. I think the Mac Mini is legitimately a professional computer, and that I think in a lot of ways its price is justified. So this 799 model gets you a 3.6 gigahertz quad-core 8th gen Intel Core i3 processor, 8 gigabytes of DDR4 memory, Intel UHD Graphics 630, and 128 gigabytes of PCIe-based SSD storage. The next model up gets you 3 gigahertz 6-core 8th gen i5 turbo boost up to 4.1 gigahertz, 8 gigs UHD 630, and 256 gigs of PCIe-based SSD storage. Now, I'm currently in need of a new office computer. I don't want to bring my Hackintosh from home because then I'm out of an awesome desktop at home. So the Mac Mini is perfect for me. But the Mac Mini's still got a few problems. So when Apple updated this, they did a lot of good, but they also did a lot of bad. So Apple giveth and Apple taketh. They brought us, these are full desktop processors in the Mac Mini shell. These are no longer MacBook Air chips or laptop chips. This is not a MacBook Air in a shell. This is desktop processors, full Intel desktop processors, which is why you're able to get a 6-core i5 and i7, and why you're able to get a quad-core i3. And that's also probably why this option is not as bad as you think. The other thing we're getting out of this is soldered, or not soldered RAM, I should say. You're getting soldered SSD. So this is Apple taketh, but Apple giveth. You're getting socketed RAM. This is awesome. You can upgrade the RAM again on the Mac Mini yourself. So thank God for that, because it can go up to 64 gigs, but that's ridiculously expensive from Apple. And as part of Apple giveth and Apple taketh, like I said, SSD is soldered on. So you're stuck with that 128 gig SSD when you get it. And it's also got the T2 chip on it. Apple giveth, Apple taketh. It is solid state, so it should theoretically be very reliable. So let's scroll down and look at what Apple's not taketh away. We still have actual I/O on this Mac Mini. So we've still got that standard Mac Mini power plug. We've got Ethernet port, 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports, which is insane for a machine at this level. An HDMI 2.0, 2 USB 3 ports, and still a headphone jack. Thank God. And one of the configuration options you can do now is 10 gigabit Ethernet, which is awesome. So you can match this with an iMac Pro, and we now have two Macs that are capable of 10 gigabit Ethernet, which to me is insane. Good for you, Apple. You've done a lot of good with this new Mac Pro. And they show build and render farms, and Xcode server. Like, these are legitimate pro things that people are doing with the Mac Mini. Digital art and signage is a lot of what I do for work. And so I've dubbed this tiny little machine the Mac Mini Pro. And I think you're getting a lot of computer for your $799. So what you're getting is you're getting a quad-core 8th gen i3, which you know is going to be fast because it's 8th generation Intel desktop chip, which you can optionally upgrade, of course, to an i7 if you want to spend the money. Or you can get the next model up and get the i5, or you can upgrade that to an i7. You've got options here. You can, of course, configure your RAM through Apple, or you can do the same thing and upgrade it yourself for hopefully way cheaper. Your SSD is expensive, but it's soldered, so if you don't want to deal with external storage on the Mac Mini, which some people don't, I totally get it, you're going to want to go ahead and upgrade this when you buy it. And of course, you've got your 10 gigabit Ethernet. This is an option. That's another way they were able to cut the cost, I guess, is by keeping 10 gigabit an option. No matter what you do with this computer, you're still getting shitty UHD Graphics 630. I think that's the point. This is Apple showing off that, hey, we can give you a powerful desktop computer with integrated graphics. You can use it like that. If you want to upgrade the graphics and put a better graphics card in it, you can do that now because you have 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports. You have the expansion power to do it. You have the capacity to do it. So do it then if you want it. If you want a GPU for your Mac Mini, go ahead and buy the Blackmagic eGPU, Razer Core, and go ahead and put your own GPU in it. You can do these kinds of things because, again, this is a Mac Mini with 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports. So you can do that, hook up the LG Ultrafine monitor, maybe hook up a rack for storage. You can do a lot with this machine. And I'm really glad that Apple's even touting I/O as a feature for this. It shows they're not completely head-ass. And it shows that they're not going to cripple the Mac. They're not going to cripple the Mac desktop line. Apple actually brought back socketed RAM. Granted, they did that too to the 21-inch iMac, but I mean, this is crazy. I thought the Mac Mini was doomed to have soldered RAM for the rest of its life. But Mike, these are way more expensive than the $499, $500 asking price of the Mac Mini before that. That's true, but you're getting a whole lot more with it. So now you're getting PCIe, super fast PCIe storage standard, so that's going to bump up the price. DDR4 memory, standard. Again, that'll bump up the price a little bit, especially considering the cost of DDR4 right now. And you're getting 8th gen desktop parts. So again, that's going to bump the price a little bit too. All in all, I think it's impressive that Apple did this, gave us a lot in return, and kept it at this price point. When I really break it down, and I figure, for $800, I'm getting a full desktop Mac that I know is going to start out powerful because it's got 8th gen desktop chips. I know I can expand it the way I want to. Well, I should say I know I can expand it. Storage can be added with Thunderbolt 3. GPUs can be added with Thunderbolt 3. And of course, I know it's got longevity to it, and I know that it's going to serve me well. So, surprise, surprise. Why am I talking about it serving me well? I bought one. I have one on its way right now. So I just bought a base model. I'm not entirely sure if this is the model I'm going to keep, but I bought this model to try it out, and I'm going to do a video on it and replace my Hackintosh for a week and just see, can I live with the integrated graphics? And if this computer winds up making its way into my life, I will do so many more videos about it because I think it's going to be a really awesome computer, and I can't wait to get it in my hands. So November 7th, it'll be here. Unboxing video will be live, and we'll be hooking it up to my desktop. And yeah, I'm excited for this computer, and I think it's what a lot of people have been asking for, even with the price increase. I mean, these are upgrades you'd probably make to your Mac Mini anyway. You definitely weren't buying the $499, $500 Mac Mini. You were buying at least the $699, $799 Mac Mini. So in this case, now they've just made the price points make sense, and they've eliminated a useless computer. So that's all I've got for this. If you guys got comments about the Mac Mini that you want to make, leave them in the comments below, and I'll come at you with that Mac Mini content as soon as I get it in my hands. I'm excited. Peace out, guys.